This video is about conditional breakpoints. So let's see this with an example. Suppose that we have we know exactly in the code where we want to set the breakpoint. So we are in this case we have this program, we know the breakpoint place, but this breakpoint will stop many times. In this case it will stop several times for each short term that is in this list of short terms. And in that case it can be one thing we can do. We can just press F8 or the continue button in the toolbar to go through each time it stops until it reaches the case that we want. Let's suppose that we want to process this short time here. Or we can set a conditional breakpoint to stop there directly. So in this case actually there are not so many, so it would work okay to just press F8 until it gets there. But there are cases where it could be like 100 or 1000, and then it's too much time. It's too time consuming to just keep pressing F8. So there is a better way using the conditional breakpoints. So let's see this case. I'm going to start the transaction. The breakpoint is already set in the code. And so it stops there in the breakpoint as we expected. So let's see. Right now I just have a normal breakpoint. So let's see which condition we can set to go directly to the case that we want. For that we have to inspect the variables. We can see which local variables exist, and seeing this one in detail, it has the exception name, the program name, and the number. So if we look to the list, it corresponds to the information that I have here about the short term. So this can be used to set the conditional breakpoint. And to set the conditional breakpoint, let's go to the breakpoint and right click to get the context menu, and then we have this option to create the breakpoint condition. So I choose this option and I can put here the variables and conditions that I want to be true so that the breakpoint stops. So I already have this. So this is the structure, and the error ID corresponds to this one, to the one that I want to process, the G program, and the number. So all the information is from this list here and here. So if I set this, and if I continue execution, now it should stop exactly in that short term. I can do again inspect this variable here, and I see the program name and error ID and number. They match exactly the one that I want. So this was a quick way to find the row that I want to process. So if I had like hundreds of lines, this would save me a lot of time. And that's exactly the main benefit of conditional breakpoints. So every time I find myself pressing many times F8, then I switch to a conditional breakpoint. So if it's just 10 times or even 20, that's okay. If it will be much more, then it's much quicker to just identify the variables and then set a conditional breakpoint.